If you've ever wondered how to beat the world number one Magnus Carlsen, then this game will show you how. This was a game played by the young Russian player Alexei Sarana, and step one of being Magnus Carlsen is to have the white pieces, because if you're playing with black, your odds of winning are honestly not that high. But if you've got the white pieces, you've got a shot. So step one is to have the white pieces, step two is to play an opening where you are the leading expert or one of the leading experts of the systems, because if you have tons of experience with bishop f4 versus Carlsen's million games experience with bishop g5, well, then you have more chance of him making a mistake by, getting him out of book a little early. And already, Carlsen didn't play the main line of bishop d6, play into all of this kind of stuff with, Sarana having like hundreds of games experience in, playing these sorts of systems. Like kind of Queen's Gambit, exchange, but without the dark squared bishops, adds a little bit of a, unique flavor to it. But Carlsen plays c6 instead, and you can imagine that Sarana was pretty happy to see this, because normally with bishop f4, on long case you want to play c5 and hit in the middle game, and now it's not so easy to do that, right? So with the move f3, this is a move that might objectively not be the best one, but it asks black some tricky questions. Like, let me know in the comments below, like, what would you play against the move f3 if you were in Carlsen's shoes? Because if you get it right, it turns out you played better than Carlsen did at this point. And that relates to step 3. Step 3 is to not show any fear. One of the reasons that Carlsen does so well is not just that he's the greatest chess player of all time, but because he's the greatest, people are scared of him and don't take the fight to him. Try to make a solid draw or to not miss anything, like double and triple check every line. Against a good player, you just got to be confident and back yourself. It's not always going to work, but it's what's going to give you the best chance. And well done, by the way, if you saw black's next move of knight to h5 that was not played in the game. If you're enjoying the training here, do make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. For those who are already subscribed, just tap that notification bell, set notifications for all, and that will ensure that you get all of my trainings. And as I was showing that, you might be thinking, what are you talking about, Max? Take, and I win a piece. Yeah, you win a piece, but there is a catch. Queen to h4, the king moves away, and knight to g3. Computer is just laughing at all of us at this point, saying, you're not winning 2 pieces for a rook here because, well, then you lose the knight at the end. And your computer just laughs. But you can also play gf5. Like, this is still not so easy here. Like, you play knight h3, and how is that knight getting out? If they go knight f2, we go queen e1, and they can't take because then the queen is on pre. So Sarana just created this maze where 2 + 2 = 5, the deep dark forest that Mihail Tal talks about. And Carlsen says, I don't want to go into this crazy complications against a player outrated by over 100 points. Let's just avoid this annoying g4, like, if bishop e7, g4, like, this looks kind of scary. Like, I don't want to get my king hacked to pieces, So let's just go h5 and stop it. But you see, we bluffed him a bit. We bluffed black. Now bishop to d3. So step 3, basically playing confidently is what's going to allow us to get a better position, where we're going to, scare the opponent into maybe not playing the best way. So we have knight a6, knight e2, and now we get to the step 4, which is just do the simple stuff well. And the thing is that this is one reason why Carlsen is the world number 1. He does the simple stuff better than everyone else. Even Caruana, even Hikaru. I mean, they themselves do the simple stuff better than all the other guys. It's like different degrees of magnitude, right? But what's so great about this move e4 that Sarana played, and you could castle first, that's definitely possible too, but e4 is the move you're dreaming of playing. Like, you want to make your dream moves work in chess. Like, you don't just want to bow over and let the opponent just sort of run you over the way, they ran you over in uni or high school or, whatever it is you're up to. Maybe you're a young viewer watching this, you haven't been scarred already by education, but jokes aside, yeah, in this position, d4, that's the way you outplay good players, is you let them make mistakes with the tension. This was a really great exchange for white, because now we have 2 pawns in the center. And guess how many pawns black has in the center? He has a big fat 0 pawns in the center. Which is why black should have played knight e6, but we would still be a bit better even then. Like, you can choose which way you want to castle, depending on whether you like your food mild or spicy. I personally like spicy, so I would castle long, but your mileage may vary. After d4, fe4, knight e6, it's an attack. But now we get to step 5 of how to beat Carlsen. Ignore his attacks and find ways to play the moves you want to play anyway. So don't move the bishop and let him, annoy you with knight g4 and start to turn the game against you. Say, you know what? I don't think your threat's real. I'm calling your bluff. You can take my bishop, but I'm going to take back. I'm going to go e5, e6. I'm just going to rip open your king and give checkmate. Easier said than done, but it's easier when you've got the confidence to back it up and the skills to back it up as well. This, of course, is also important. But yeah, step 5 is to, just basically, ignore the opponent's threats effectively. After bishop e7, the move h3 might not be the engine's top line, but it's blitz chess. You want to keep your king safe. We're not going to put it against him. Rook 81, again, we don't care if they take, because now we have fresh weaknesses to latch onto. You can see how h5 is already biting black in the behind at this point. Black plays the move queen to b6. White, again, plays with a lot of courage. It's all about finding ways to get the momentum going. Like, don't let him get off the back foot. Which leads us into step 6. Step 6 is, once you've got that big advantage, don't let up. Continue playing good moves. Continue keeping the initiative, keeping the threats. Now, maybe at this point you're wondering, well, Max, can't they be a bit tricky here? Like, knight takes d4, and you can't take the knight because bishop c5 and you lose the queen. Maybe that's what you were thinking, but Serrana's one step ahead. He can play bishop to e3 first, hitting the knight to the queen, and if we count them all up, bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, captures, captures, captures. We're the only one with a knight at the end. We're just a piece up. So black plays the move of g6, trying to do the distance 4 on our knight, but Serrana doesn't care. He plays bishop h6, and now the problem is, let's say black plays the move rook e8. What would you play in this position as white? Would you play the normal move of queen f3 and just win the pawn normally? Or would you win in style with a move like rook takes f7? They can't even take you because you go rook f1. The king runs, we take here, and just look at how beautiful this is. Rook f7, and how are you going to stop mate? The answer is you can't. You can take a pawn, but so what? We give mate here, or we give mate here, and that's it, folks. The game is over. And if they try to stop it with knight f8, yeah, you just checkmate that way. That's how the game could have ended, but Carlsen knew that if he had played rook e8, this game would have been published all around the world, and his name would have been associated with that one time he lost to Serrana, rather than all the other great wins he had. Okay, I'm joking a bit, but in the game after queen takes b2, white just took the exchange, and now we get to the final step, which is, once you have a winning position, don't screw it up. And unfortunately, white almost screwed it up here. All you had to do was play rook f2, defend the pawn with the x-ray, and you consolidate and eventually win. Serrano played rook b1, just a little slip in concentration. And what I didn't realize is that, black can take the pawn. The rook's not covering it anymore. And, suddenly black is actually probably going to survive this endgame because the pieces are active and he can, be a bit annoying with h4 and this sort of thing. Because, I mean, the corner is no place for a knight. I mean, come on. But you probably don't have anything else here. But instead, Carlsen maybe thinking that the game was already gone and, bemoaning, why am I losing to this Russian kid? Well, he wasn't really a kid anymore in the game, but you get the idea. Everyone's a kid compared to, the older chess generation. But after queen a2, yeah, now it's just all over. Like, you can't even move the bishop anymore because, well, rook f7. Well, let's use this rook, and, I mean, the mate plays itself. Should be a meme, like the checkmate speaks for itself, eh? But after queen a3, yeah, white is just winning. After rook a1, the bishop is trapped, and Serrano being 2-center plus GM knows how to win with an extra rook for nothing, and therefore Carlsen resigned. Let me know down in the comments below what was your favorite part of this video. And while you're doing that, let me just give you a little bit of a summary. Step 1 of beating Carlsen is play with the white pieces. Step 2 is to play an opening that you know better than anyone else in the world, even Carlsen. Step 3 is to basically not be scared, like take the fight to him. Step 4 is to play the simple chess, do the simple stuff well. Step 5 is to ignore their threats and make bigger threats of your own. And then step 6 is basically to attack his king, keep the initiative. And finally, step 7 is to not screw it up. Just play good moves to convert your advantage into the win. That's 7 steps, but no one said that being Carlsen was trivial. But at least you know how it looks in practice. I will see you all in the next training, and until then, take care.